I kept looking for lenses, and people would say, well, where's all the equipment? I want to demonstrate that actually the only piece of equipment it is a piece of glass.
David Hockney, our most celebrated living artist, reveals that 400 years before the invention of the photograph, artists were using simple cameras to capture stunningly realistic images on canvas. In a Hollywood studio, Hockney recreates masterpieces by Vermeer, Caravaggio and Van Eyck and demonstrates the secret techniques they use to create such vivid pictures. His extraordinary new evidence rewrites the story of some of the most famous paintings in the world.
Think of these words: real, natural, photographic, true to life. What do we mean when we use these words? In my studio, we pinned up hundreds of colour photocopies of paintings. Paintings which seemed to have an optical look and paintings that did not. Slowly, we got a kind of order. I put Northern Europe at the top and Southern Europe at the bottom. The wall was necessary because I could then sit back and scan centuries of Western painting. We worked back further and further, and finally we got to a date where beyond that it is very different. And that date is approximately 1420. That date is when a big change occurs. That's been observed by every art historian. The explanations for it are everybody could suddenly draw better. Really? Not that good an explanation, not that rational, really. So, we are focusing on this sudden change that happened. So what is an explanation? Jan van Eyck was the court painter. He was not a humble craftsman. He ran a large workshop with many apprentices. He was an intellectual, a theologian, and a scientist. He is described by Vasari as an alchemist and credited with the invention of oil painting. Primitive? You are totally knocked out when looking at this picture. It's unbelievably rich in detail in every single part of it. The textures of cloth. The canon is holding a book with a kind of chamois leather that wraps the book. Amazing, the little figures behind are made of wood. Your eye can tell that. You can tell everything about the textures of the cloths, the incredible detail in the bishop's staff. Anything that's shiny, they seem to particularly love. The armour is polished. All the gold thread in the bishop's coat. The shines look amazing. They look correct, as we'd say. There are descriptions 100 years after Van Eyck of dark rooms with a lens called a camera obscura, which simply means dark room. I kept looking for lenses, and people would say, well, where's all the equipment? What do you mean, a camera obscura? One of the problems with a camera obscura is it sounds like a piece of equipment. I want to demonstrate that actually the only piece of equipment it is a piece of glass. In the 1700s, we know Canaletto used a camera obscura. Many artists did. This is by Reynolds. Reynolds certainly owned one. It's in the Science Museum in London. He obviously didn't tell everyone. It folds up to look like a book. But in the paintings of Vermeer done in the 1600s, we see the most vivid use of optics. They have a photographic look. This basket is out of focus. The eye does not go out of focus. How did he paint this fabric and the map and this chandelier? By eye? These paintings looked strange to people at the time they were painted. The foreground objects seemed too big, but not to us. We are used to looking at photographs. Professor Philip Stedman built this model not only from the painting, but from 17th century chairs, tiles, etc., that he went to great trouble to find, and discovered that, viewed from one single point, the view of Vermeer's camera, a photograph of the set, matched the painting exactly. If you computerize Philip's model and project the scene through the lens, the image, focused on the back wall, is exactly the same size as the original canvas. In this model room, you can do the same with several other Vermeers. Only the people and the furniture change. The chance of this happening without optics is millions to one.
You need quite a big lens because of
The light.
you're indoors and you need to see detail, and also you need to project an image the size of the painting, which is, you know, this kind of size, so you need something that will project over that area. You don't need it all in focus at once, because of course you can refocus a bit. But I think that his lens was that kind of size, and that's the sort of lens you begin to get late 16th century, 17th century, early 17th century, for telescopes and big magnifying glasses. People making them in Delft. So
I think artists... Okay, Rich, pick up the glass of wine. Pull it back to you a bit more. Hold it there. Okay, rest it. Put it down. Now pick it up again and I'll tell you exactly where to put it. Now down a bit. Down a little bit. Okay. That's how, if he rested, we'd get it back. And Caravaggio did make marks like that in the paint. But there was a slight technical hitch using a lens. Unlike the mirror lens, the picture is reversed. He picked it up, of course, with his right hand, but here it looks as though his left hand, because this is a straight projection, not using a mirror to reverse it again. Everything is reversed now. Once I realized this, I started to notice a large number of left-handed drinkers, never seen in Giotto, by the way. When you reverse the paintings, the amazing thing is they look more harmonious and natural. In this painting of 1660 from the Franz Hals Museum, everyone is left-handed, including the man pointing at them. Try that with your hands. The chances of finding 3 left-handed people and, look, a left-handed monkey seem to be remote.